So this new feature called routines executes complex schedule automations completely in the background. So like I said, you can leave your computer closed. You don't have to worry about that. You can have it in your backpack, whatever the case may be. And with that, I think we're stepping even closer into a world where AI operates as a scheduled independent member of your engineering team, which is pretty crazy. Like, for example, if you wanted to run a specific database script, let's say you're trying to clean up the database every day at 8 in the morning, right? 8 a.m. You would have to build the infrastructure yourself. You use external tools, API calls, dedicated servers, things like that. Now the limitation is gone. With routines, you can do repeatable, scheduled automations. So instead of running locally on your physical Mac, these routines are executed entirely on Anthropic's web infrastructure. This means your computer doesn't need to be connected to Wi-Fi or even powered on, really. You can schedule tasks pretty much any time to run successfully. There's a few examples that Anthropic provided when it comes to this. So one of them is you can schedule tasks to run daily comprehensive reports on code quality across your entire code base. This is super important for QA situations and just in general to make sure that there's no issues with the code. And being able to do this in kind of an automated fashion is a super big plus. You could run this in the middle of the night. That's really important, especially for if you have teams that are in different time zones, a team in Thailand or a team in Mexico. It's really easy now to coordinate all of those routine checks. You can also create a dedicated GitHub routine. So you can respond to newly submitted issues, provide initial code reviews on pull requests. Second, they're opened, basically. There's no delay there anymore, which is really nice. But so routines are part of this big announcement. There's also a second part of it. They also overhauled the user interface for the Claude app on the Mac. So I'm a PC user, but I recognize how nice this is for a lot of people. You can now run multiple distinct Claude chats side by side on your screen, all managed cleanly by a brand new sidebar interface, which is really nice. So what's the impact of all this stuff? I think for individual developers and as well as teams, there's really becoming a fundamental shift in how we think about AI tooling overall. We're moving from having to actively manage everything to basically have our agents run autonomously, even if we're not around our computer and even if the computer itself is not turned on, which is the key component here. So this is going to save on everything. It's going to save on even minutia things like electricity. It's going to save on just the annoyance of having to run operations with an open computer while you're sleeping. It's going to free up a lot of that. And I think it's going to make it a lot easier to run these sort of determinative tasks, these tasks that we know have to take place every single day that are routine, literally. And it's going to make those processes a lot cleaner and more smooth. And so are there limitations with this new feature, routines? Yes, of course there are limitations, right? So it depends a lot on what kind of plan you have. If you have the Pro plan, which I think most of us probably do, you're only going to be able to run 5 routines per day. Now, this can still be valuable. Now, if you have a larger team and you have the Max plan, it's going to give you 15 runs per day, which is fantastic. That's should be plenty for most kind of routine projects that you would have like that. And then the team enterprise, you get up to 25. So if you have a Pro plan, which is the $20 a month plan, try it out. I'm going to be testing this a lot on some of the minutia tasks that I have each day and just see how it goes. For me is, as someone who's used N8N and Make and Zapier, and knowing that you can build these huge automation processes that run autonomously more or less by themselves, there's still so many errors. And the second there's an error, you have to go in and identify that error and fix it. And it can just be an endless loop of having to fix little things here and there, and something's broken and you have to rerun everything. I'm hoping that this will solve a lot of that issue, and it will allow us to basically use an agentic capability that runs like an N8N flow. It could run at midnight on its own. It can run on a schedule. But if it hits an error or a snag, it's going to be able to solve that error rather quickly, and it's going to continue on with finding an outcome. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Claude Routines is something to be excited about? How are you going to be using Claude Code Routines? Is it going to enhance your workflows? How do you think it'll change your workflows? I'm curious to hear all that stuff. And this has been Brian here with AI News of the Day. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.